Hello everyone, today is August 12th, day 311 to the war between Israel and Hamas, and these are the headlines for today. Here in front of us we have Yediot Achronot, and one of the main really sad stories is of Yonathan. Yonathan nirtzach chodesh lifnei chatunato. Yonathan was murdered 1 month before his wedding. We'll talk about another article about, it says, Ben milchama la'achlama, between war and recovery, about soldiers that have been injured in the war and are under recovery. And we'll end with some good news with the Olympics. Let's start with the very sad article about Yonathan. So it says here, Yonathan nasa la'arusato. Yonathan was traveling towards his fiancée, v'nirtzach bepigua, and was murdered in a terror attack. Just a few weeks ago, Yonathan was released from his army service. He was a combat fighter in a Maglan unit, and he was about to get married to Emunah, his fiancée, but yesterday, when he was on his way to her, terrorists shot him to death in a passing vehicle. It's really, really sad, the reality that, young people are trying to start their lives, start their families, and they can, serve their country well. Then 2 seconds after that, they find their death on a highway. He was only 23. You can imagine how young that is, how tragic it is, how heartbreaking, especially for his fiancée, that they were about to start their lives together. Here you can see just a young guy, traveling in Israel behind a waterfall, enjoying life. Here you can see a lot of soldiers and security forces and ambulances taking care of Yonathan and taking care of the other guy that was injured. And of course, they're still hunting down the terrorists that did it. Actually, 31 years ago, an interesting fact is that in the exact same junction, at the Mechola junction, the first car suicide bomber exploded in that junction. And so you can see that, terror continues in the same places. And Israel is doing everything that they can to make us secure again and secure peace in the region. And now let's go to another article about the recovering soldiers. It says here, tzad achar tzad, one step after another. It says here that many combat soldiers, male and female combat soldiers, have been in recovery since the 7th of October, and it's a very challenging recovery for them. They are lomdim michadash b'ma'amatz adir. They're learning from the beginning with great effort to do even the most basic things. And they said that the atmosphere in the ward is one of family. That hachaim shekulanu ishtanu pitom, all of our lives have suddenly been changed, and we're learning and helping each other to adapt. And here you can see all of these soldiers doing, as they said before, even the most basic things, even picking up, balls in the air for motor skills, being inside the pool to help them with their therapy. And we wish them really all the best. These soldiers dedicate their whole lives, their whole bodies to the service of Israel and its security. And now they're going through another personal fight of their own. And we hope that they will all be okay. So keep them in your prayers. Now let's go to another article about the controversy regarding Orthodox Jews and mandatory army service. It says here, Hanashim isharu babayit, the women or the wives will stay at home. And it says, Ishti tafsik la'avod, my wife will stop working and she'll prefer to be at home with the kids. No one else will prefer to be drafted because of this decision. So for a lot of you guys that probably don't know, amongst the Jewish Orthodox community, the men actually don't work. Most of the men don't work. They go to a yeshiva, which is, they study interpretations of the Torah. And instead of them working, they get a lot of help from the government. And their wives are actually the ones that stay at home with the kids, with a lot of kids, by the way, or they themselves work to provide for the family. And so they're already saying this is already a hard situation. So if we're drafted, it's going to be even more tough for the woman. And so the women are the one that will suffer from it in the end. And here you can see a protest of these Orthodox Jews saying that they would rather die than be drafted. So that's sort of what we're dealing with right now in Israel. And here we have a caricature of an Orthodox Jew, his wife and his family, and Bibi. And he's holding a sign saying, Namut velo nitgayes, we will die and not be drafted. The mother here is saying, אתה יכול לשמור עליהם? אני חייב לצאת לעבודה. Can you take care of them like the babies because I have to go to work? But his reply is, שימי אותם בינתיים אצל הביביסיטר, which is a play on words. He's saying, put them in the meantime at the babysitter, but it's a play on words, babysitter, meaning put them with Bibi as if it's his problem and not his. And let's finish with some really exciting news. It's been a really good year for Israelis in the Olympics. It says here, Hadran Kochol Lavan, blue and white encore. The Olympic Games in Paris finished yesterday with a beautiful and emotional ceremony. Our athletes took home 7 medals, one of which being gold, and they have broke every single record. And here you can see at the ending ceremony, 2 of our athletes that were wind sailing, carrying the Israeli flag, a huge source of pride for Israelis. Thank you guys so much for being here. Remember to pray for Israel in this really tense time. For more Israel content, go to allisrael.com and don't forget to subscribe to this channel, and we'll see you guys in the next one.